What's going on, guys? Brick Breaks here, and tonight we're taking a look at her. Yeah, remember Quickshadow? I adapted her to Bayverse. This thing is awesome. So let's not waste any more time and get straight into this. Getting right into this, you can clearly tell that this is a non-transforming figure based on the Last Night drift design, which works perfectly for Quickshadow. So you get in, you see the head sculpt here is the exact same. That was one of the things that I nailed the first time around with the original one. You're gonna hear a lot of mentions to that figure. You can see on the top of the chest we got the mirrors. Interesting touch on my part. Got the back collar along with these wing thingies that are actually her spoiler. Big Mercedes logo. I did assign her a Mercedes alt mode, and at the end of the video I'll explain my headcanon explanation for Bayverse Quickshadow. Autobot symbol belt buckle, which that symbol printed way better than I thought it would. Some striping. The fenders as her shoulders as per her Rescue Bot's design. Even some blue trim right in there. Didn't come out the best, but I put it there. And you can barely tell, but on these circular parts in there are Mercedes logos. Her arms, definitely a lot more human looking than the Rescue Bot's design. Moving on down, these got the doors on her hips as these skirts, and her knee pads taken off the original as well, and her shins bearing resemblance to the Michael Bay Bumblebee. Got the other two wheels in there as per Age of Extinction / The Last Night drift, and along with Drift's feet. Turning to the back, clean obviously. Got the tail lights picked out in red along with a split Mercedes logo, which I really liked. I'm glad I put that there. And you can see this thing is greeble just enough to maintain that put together look that the Bayverse is known for. It also has that nice smooth aesthetic of past Transformers cartoons. Even a spine. Now, this being one of my creations, you'd expect it to be a complete brick. No. Ball joint at the head. It's kind of weird because the ball joint is messed up due to the print, but it still works. She can look up to a terrific degree and look down a little bit, and you also get some side to side tilt. Every ball joint can be a swivel. Rotation at the shoulder, it can do a full 360. Arm moves out. No bicep swivel, but you do get an elbow swivel, which is a little bit loose just due to how thin these ball socket walls are. See, gotta be careful posing this. Bend at the elbow, it will hold its position. And let's just remove it for a wrist swivel. Which reminds me, every ball joint can be. An incredibly tight waist swivel. Always necessary. Her right skirt can swivel, but the left one can't because I had to glue it, and they don't really need to. So the hips can kick forward and pop off forward that far. Make sure you grab at the base of the joint and not anywhere else so you don't break anything. Back that far, and you know that there is a beautiful spread. Knee swivel, that knee bends, and a toe pivot with a heel pivot, which acts as ankle articulation. This thing, for being a creation of from me, is superbly posable. I will fix those eventually. For my purposes, they don't really need to be fixed at the moment. Now for accessories, just two. these wrist rockets, taking inspiration from the grappling hook she has in the Rescue Bots cartoon. There is a left and a right. You can see the port is elevated a little bit, and you want the port on the higher side, and it'll just peg into the port on the forearms there. And we'll plug in the other one. Get in there. And that looks good. Like, hang on, let's get her into a pose. Why did you fall off? Come on, get back in there. Not too bad. This thing changes everything with my models. They now can be this posable. I'm just gonna work on stability. I might redo the arms no, this is not gonna be a maybe. I'm going to eventually redo these forearms to be more sturdy. But now for the comparison, we're gonna bring in a jarring one. Here's my original Quickshadow based on the Rescue Bots cartoon. And you can see just how far we've come despite them being two completely different designs. You can also see where my Bayverse one took inspiration from the original. And sadly, one of the thingies on her back snapped off. It was close to snapping off anyway. I'll glue it back on later. You can see everything on here ends up where it's supposed to be. The front wheels and fenders on as the shoulders. The back thingies again. I didn't paint the blue stripe here, but there's a blue stripe on her forearm, just like on this one. Got side skirts. You do have an Autobot symbol. It's on the chest on the Rescue Bots version and on the belt buckle on my Bayverse version, but they both have something big symbols in the chests. Yeah, solid. And you can see here, this thing, if you recall, just had a neck swivel, rotation at both shoulders, and a waist swivel. So compared to this Bayverse version, brick. I am in the process of updating this thing to be not only far more posable, but far more accurate. Here's a sneak peek at it. I know. And we'll bring in a group shot here of some Studio Series stuff, as I made this to scale with Studio Series. We'll bring in Optimus. We'll bring in Dark of the Moon Bumblebee. Bring in RC. This is a Bayverse Fembot done right. This is a Bayverse Fembot gone to shit. And we'll bring in my boy Jazz. And as you can see, she fits right in to a Studio Series display. Like, here's how I display her on my shelf. So let's just get these guys out of here. And yet, Jazz's back mod works great. TFW forms are so useful. Let's get these guys out of here. So yeah, should I recommend? Wait, oh. One last comparison. Here she is with the Last Night Deluxe Drift in his alt mode, because they share alternate modes. Although Quickshadow is a British version of this in my headcanon. So let me explain that. I would have had her introduced in Transformers The Last Night. Yes, this fucking shit show of a film. You remember all the retired Transformers in England with Anthony Hawkins at that castle and Hot Rod? Quickshadow would have been amongst them with her classic British accents, and she would have gotten a nice amount of as much screen time as Hot Rod and Cogman did, as she is awesome. That's been my look at this Bayverse Quickshadow. I now have 2 of these things with 2 more on the way. It's inevitable. First being an updated Rescue Bots version, and the second being a 3.0 DLX scale version of this one, with a little bit more range of articulation, and I can guarantee much more sturdy elbows. That thing I cannot wait to review, as I'm going to paint that thing just as nice as 3.0 paints their stuff. It's going to scale with the DLX Revenge of the Fallen Prime, and I'm going to try and pack an LED into her head. Wish me luck with that bullshit. And with this particular one, I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I will link the model in the description for those of you who are able to have 3D printers and you want to print this yourself. I can guarantee you're going to have to paint it yourself. But hey, that's part of the fun. But that's been my look at my Bayverse Quickshadow 3D prints. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, both at BrickBreaksOfficial, and I'll see y'all in the next video with more Rise of the Beast stuff. Yes, I saw the film. Yes, it was amazing. No, it did not dethrone Dark of the Moon. Bye.